got to build relationships. This is part of counterinsurgency warfare.
The enemy is a thinking enemy.
They are unpredictable. No matter what happens, we're prepared for whatever hits us.
The best combat training, tailored for the fight at hand. That's the goal at the Army's top combat training center, located at Fort Polk, Louisiana. The Joint Readiness Training Center is where thousands of military men and women face the most difficult and realistic training scenarios, all based on what U.S. troops deployed in support of the War on Terror face every day. Dawn at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And the heat of battle is just beginning. For the next few weeks, every decision, every move made by soldiers here at the Army's Joint Readiness Training Center will be scrutinized.
I haven't heard anybody return fire yet following this contact. Multiple RPG, IED, 2 vehicles here that can still be firing. Nobody's engaged anybody. They haven't really developed the situation, no tactical site exploitation or anything yet.
You're ready to go.
We take a 365, 454-day deployment, and we try to cram a combat action into, because you'll go weeks without a contact, and then you'll have that one brief firefight. We're trying to encapsulate that.
And consequences similar to real-life combat situations.
Double pump that 50 cal! Pump it twice! Pump it twice!
You still got rear security. Any more turns? Hey, Hicks! Baskets, back him up. You got a sketch code.
Spread out! Another 10 feet! Come here. You gotta move! You're too close!
We're going to wear them out. They should be at least exposed to the concept of somebody looking down a barrel of a gun at them and pulling the trigger.
Stand down!
It's the concept of being out there and seeing that enemy. They're going to be more comfortable working under pressure.
It's not only the Army that is training here. We incorporate many different things, and examples of those are Special Operations Forces, Marine Special Forces. We have partners with other interagencies, your host nation security forces. We get close air support and airlift support for every rotation. There's a wide variety of things that they contend with in a real joint environment.
This is the, bar none, the most realistic training that we're going to get in preparation for combat.
Training has been the name of the game at this rural Louisiana base for more than half a century. Founded in 1941 and named after Confederate General and Louisiana Bishop, the Reverend Leonidas Polk, it was here and at a few surrounding bases that nearly 500,000 soldiers learned the basics of combat during the famous World War II Louisiana maneuvers, the largest pre-war exercise of its kind ever held in the United States. The post closed after the Korean War, but then reopened in 1961 during the Berlin crisis to again provide infantry training, a mission which continued through the Vietnam War. And in March 1993, Fort Polk became the new home of the Joint Readiness Training Center. Throughout its history, and to this day, this is the place where many soldiers have lived some of the most demanding moments of their lives.
There is a saying that goes around here that the toughest day should be here at JRTC and not in search your country. And the idea of being here at JRTC, the biggest compliment that we can get is that for the soldiers to come back from their deployment and say, my 4 or 5 days or my JRTC rotation was harder than my deployment downrange. To me, if they come back and say that, that means I've done my job and I've successfully prepared that soldier for deployment.
So, just what constitutes a soldier's toughest day? How does one recreate the rigors of insurgent warfare and an enemy with increasingly unpredictable ways? Meet the Geronimos, here to create a day of pure hell. Believe it or not, these guys are actually U.S. soldiers, playing opposing force to units in training. They tossed their razors, uniforms, and temporarily transformed themselves into renegades.
Gets intense, so help these guys train and stuff, so it's pretty good. I guess we have the advantage because we know what's going on and we usually know what the reactions are going to be.
Hey, so how's it for? In that corner right there's a doorway. You see that?
Roger. Another doorway right in front of you. Right side.
Can you fire on them? Son, how's it close?
Yeah.
Smith?
See it.
Well, fire on his ass.
Well, I mean, we know they're going to mess up, and that's pretty much what they're doing here is they're coming here to learn, certain mistakes. When they get there over in Iraq or Afghanistan, they don't make the same mistakes there. We know they're going to screw up, so we're just giving them the training, and we just watch, and then they learn from what they made the mistakes here.
Mistakes that could cost these soldiers their lives.
What's going on around you? Never take your eyes off this guy, okay?
Take this scenario.
So we're going to go back, get back on the road here.
Members of a combat convoy are tasked with escorting a civilian truck from one base to another. The 18-mile journey, a simple, straightforward mission. Or so it seemed.
My particular job today is to take my machine gun over there and shoot at them, and they won't know where we're going to be, so they won't really be expecting it.
The first thing that I thought as soon as I saw that sand pit was this was going to be a perfect ambush area for the enemy. They always teach you that, always look at the areas that you're traveling down and see if you were the enemy, if you would attack. And as soon as we pulled in, I said, if I was the enemy, this is where I would be. So I started looking for signs first off. I noticed there was a little bit of irregular brush on the top of the hill. And then as we drove around, we called back to relay the message.
At the end of the day, and a mission most involved originally considered a walk in the park, the tally of obstacles encountered went something like this. RPGs, gunners, a myriad of casualties.
Pump it twice! Pump it twice!
And for some, frustration unparalleled.
Use your f***ing ass ball! Well, fire on his ass!
It was a mess. We need a lot of practice, but we're getting there, definitely.
I think I'm going to take the idea that we have a impractical and adaptable enemy, and that we need to make sure that no matter what happens, as we travel on our mission, that if we do get hit, we're prepared for whatever hits us.
The unit showed a lot of good techniques, a lot of good procedures. This is their first time through this event. All this is new to them, the first time they've seen it. And I think when we see this formation come through here again in a couple of days, we'll see a marked improvement as they've had the opportunity to work through these skills and these tasks again.
Detailed assessments of the day's events will come in time, but for now, the soldiers in training are left with a lot to think about.
A lot of people, including myself, have been deployed, and this is as real as it's going to get, and you need to take everything seriously.
Which was precisely the plan.
I mean, you can never really replicate what's going to happen, but this is pretty good.